ビリッとストームアスタは俺のライバルだ！There's nothing like those moments when you're forced to work with a person you can't stand. Or better yet, your sworn rival. Because who doesn't love a little awkward teamwork, right? Our anime MCs know this pain all too well. So today on ViniiTube, we're breaking down those glorious times when they had to buddy up with their nemesis to take down some ridiculously OP character. Let's start with one of the biggest battles in the history of anime, where everyone came together to fight Medium in Magi. I mean, the sheer scale of it is massive and so intense that it would keep you on the edge of your seat. Now, this isn't a fight between 2 or 3 characters, it's a full-on battle involving all kingdoms in the world of Magi. It all starts with an invasion of the Mage Kingdom, which of course sends shockwaves throughout the world. But then, boom! The Ko Empire rolls up with its finest warriors ready to throw down, and things start getting pretty wild. Oh, and as if that wasn't enough, guess who else shows up to the party? That's right, Sinbad and the Seven Seas Alliance, all flashing their epic abilities. One after another, kingdoms with long-standing beefs are setting aside their grudges because, of course, when the world is at stake, even the most bitter rivals have to team up. And honestly, the sheer scale of this battle makes it one for the history books. The fact that the rivals came together for the sake of the world is nothing short of amazing. Up next is one of the wildest and most action-packed battles in Sengoku Basara. It's between Date Masamune and Sanada Yukimura versus Oda Nobunaga. Oda's not your ordinary villain. He's the Demon King of the Sixth Heaven. A title like that? You already know he's not here to play around. His thirst for power makes him the ultimate villain. And who are the ones to dare to stand against him? None other than Date Masamune and Sanada Yukimura. It's honestly so nice to see them working together for once. Their rivalry fuels their teamwork, and even though they argue mid-battle because, I mean, what's a fight without a little friendly trash talk, eh? They're absolutely in sync when it comes to facing off against Nobunaga. Back when we were kids, this fight was the stuff of legends. The hype was real, but I gotta say, Nobunaga is so strong that the creators had to cheat the universe in order to beat him. I mean, how else do you stop a guy who's pretty much a walking disaster? There are so many anime out there, but guess what? Not all of them are available in my country. Seriously? Do you feel that same pain? If so, my fellow otaku, today's sponsor is the Kami-sama that you've been waiting for to rescue from this contentless despair. Say hello to Surfshark, the ultimate hero that offers humanized privacy and security solutions, protecting your data like a shield of plot armor. Think of it like wearing pants for your internet, because trust me, no one wants to see the wild stuff your data might expose. Surfshark encrypts all your online activity, blocks those annoying pop-up ads, and slays malware like it's the final boss. But that's not all. Surfshark lets you virtually travel the world to unlock content like never before. Want to watch anime that's only available in Japan? Curious about those epic Chinese donghua series? Well, with Surfshark, you can go beyond borders. One of my faves, Bleach, was locked away in my country, but thanks to Surfshark, it's now binge-watch central in my living room. And hey, I get it, you're still wondering if it's worth it. Well, Surfshark has a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you can try it out totally risk-free. Use my link in the description and you'll get 4 extra months free, plus the best price on the market. So what are you waiting for? Time to unlock a world of anime, memes, and more with Surfshark VPN. Just hit that link below and start your adventure. Let me tell you about a straight-up eldritch battle that left us with our jaws on the floor as we witnessed Dazai and Chuya versus Lovecraft in Bungo's Stray Dogs. You've got to hand it to the creators. They really gave us one of the most memorable tag teams in anime with these two. You see, when Howard Phillips Lovecraft, a literal eldritch abomination, rolls up with all of his creepy tentacles and Lovecraftian horror vibes, Dazai and Chuya are forced to put their differences aside and bring out their A-game. Now, Lovecraft not only looks menacing, he's practically invincible. Chuya's out there activating his corruption ability, which is as dangerous to himself as it is to his enemies. Honestly, it's pure eye candy watching Chuya obliterate anything in his path, while Lovecraft, this seemingly indestructible character, just keeps regenerating and fighting back. While Chuya's throwing the world at Lovecraft, Dazai's mentally calculating how to turn the tides of the battle. Dazai was calmly calculating how to take down their enemy. Together, they absolutely destroyed Lovecraft and saved the day. And we're now talking about one of the greatest family reunions in history, where Rin and Yukio, the two brothers, face off against their own father, Satan, in Blue Exorcist. Normally, the two would never team up. Well, that was until their father rears his ugly head. After all, who wouldn't want to team up to take down their own dad, especially when he's a world-threatening demon? You see, as soon as Satan appears, he loves throwing his dark powers around and enjoys every second of them. But hey, don't count out the Okumura brothers. As the fight escalates, you can see the brothers pushing each to their limits, combining their powers in ways that are nothing short of spectacular. Their teamwork is surprisingly very impressive. After all, they share the same blood. Watching Rin and Yukio stand together, boldly facing the darkness that tried to take over their lives, is truly a one-of-a-kind experience. If you know Meliodas and Ban, then you already know that this fight's going to be more about who can show off the most than just taking down some enemies, as they team up together to fight the blue demons in the 7 deadly sins. Now, both Meliodas and Ban are immortal rivals who never miss a chance to one-up each other, even when they're facing down a horde of demons. I mean, how powerful do you have to be if you're not even paying attention to the demons who are there to feast on your flesh? These two were just boasting about who had the better girlfriend, and while doing so, they were just knocking out demons here and there. I mean, it feels like they're just multitasking at this point. Honestly, the blue demons probably stood there for a second wondering if these guys were even taking them seriously. But nope. Meliodas and Ban are just in their own world, showing off, knocking demons down like they're insects, and proving once again that they're the most chaotic and lovable rivals in anime. Moving on, we have the ultimate swordsman with honor and the wild and unhinged brawler. They're the kind of duo who, against all odds, somehow work beautifully together. You'd think these two would be total opposites, and in a way they are, but that's what makes them such a deadly duo. When the two of them find themselves up against Garia, things heat up. You see, Garia isn't an average swordsman. He's the ultimate test who sees through both Jin and Mugen's moves like he's read the script. It's definitely worth mentioning that Jin managed to win this fight by tapping into something he wasn't really known for, being unpredictable like Mugen. The crazy part? Jin and Mugen were both missing something the other had all along. Jin was too rigid, and Mugen, well, he's a bit too chaotic. But facing Garia, they both realized their shortcomings. This was definitely a fight for the ages. So, are you enjoying these epic team-ups? If yes, please consider giving this video a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Make sure you remember to turn on the notification bell as well, because we've got some banger videos lined up for you. If there was a fight that made you sit up and think, wait, what? It's gotta be Arthur and Shinra versus Dr. Giovanni in Fire Force. Now, Dr. Giovanni isn't just crazy, he's twisted in all of the worst ways, constantly doing some kind of creepy experiment. Shinra and Arthur knew that they wouldn't be able to take down this menace if they didn't work together. These two are like the ultimate odd couple. Shinra's all about strategy and focus, while Arthur, well, he's off in his own fantasy land, convinced he's King Arthur reincarnated. And thanks to their teamwork, they're able to defeat Dr. Giovanni without much struggle. The best thing about this fight? The moment when Shinra bitch-slapped Dr. Giovanni with his foot. Yes, he literally uses his jet-powered feet to deliver the most satisfying smackdown to Giovanni's smug face. Also, the animation quality for this fight is top-notch, not to mention the absolutely beautiful sound design. Fire Force doesn't disappoint with its quality. presenting you with an entry from a brand new anime, Wistoria, Wand and Sword, where Will and his party find themselves up against the formidable evil Grand Duke. But hey, he's not alone in this. Together with his friends and rivals, including Julius, Will decides to take on the enemy. Now, the monstrous Grand Duke was worth a jaw-dropping 270,000 credits. At first, things aren't looking so hot for our heroes. They throw everything they've got at the Grand Duke, magic spells, sword strikes, witty one-liners, but they don't do much to harm him. Just as despair begins to creep in and the party start to think their gravestones are about to be engraved, Will suddenly gets this wild idea. He grabs a crystal, turns to Scion and asks him to channel his magic into his sword. And then, boom! In an epic, goosebump-inducing moment, Will's sword ignites with roaring flames. With his newfound power, Will dodges the demon's massive, earth-shattering blows and strikes. And that's how, my friend, Will, with the help of his rivals and friends, saves the day. Let's get into a fight that's one of the highlights of Shaman King as Yo and Ren team up to fight En Tao. You see, Ren may be known for his legendary strength and relentless savagery, but even he knows there's one opponent he can't face alone, his own father, the formidable En Tao. Ren had tried to fight the dark legacy of his family alone, but that proved to be beyond his limit. So, what's his plan? Ren decided to team up with his former rival to combat his dad. That's right, the once bitter competitors are now fighting side by side, and things are about to get real. As the battle intensifies, it's clear that their teamwork is more than just brute force. Yo backs Ren up every step of the way, showing him that strength doesn't just come from going it alone. With their relentless teamwork, Yo and Ren start chipping away at En's control over the massive Oversoul. And just like that, En's true form is finally exposed, no longer hiding behind that monstrous facade. It's a total game changer and a showdown that we won't forget so soon. Let's move on to Yugi and Kaiba from Yu-Gi-Oh!, who are the ultimate frenemies. But when Darts appears and Yugi realizes that this guy is really out of control, Kaiba has to step in to help Yugi get rid of their mutual enemy. You see, Darts wanted to destroy the world by unleashing this ancient, world-ending creature called the Great Leviathan. It's bad news from the get-go. And their teamwork? Let's just say it's messy as you'd expect when one guy believes in the heart of the cards and the other believes in, well, himself, I guess. But then Darts decides it's time to up the difficulty level, and boy oh boy does he. Out comes his ultimate weapon, the Divine Serpent Ge, a creature with literally infinite attack points. As our hero starts to pull it together, Darts flips the script and takes away Kaiba's soul just like it's another card in the game. Yep, Kaiba's gone, leaving Yugi all alone to face this ancient evil. However, Yugi does the impossible and defeats Darts' Divine Serpent with his Timaeus, the Knight of Destiny. It was a glorious display of power and very much satisfying as well. This duel was so good that even Kaiba had to admit that teaming up with his rival wasn't that bad. But let's talk about the legendary battle where Kenshin, Saito, Sanosuke and Aoshi teamed up against Shishio, one of the most terrifying villains in the history of anime. You see, Shishio, the former government assassin turned revolutionary, is out to burn down the entire Meiji government and take over Japan with his crazy philosophy of survival of the fittest. He's a total beast, wrapped head to toe in bandages because he was burnt alive and somehow survived. Now he's fueled by bloodlust. Even though Shishio can't fight for long and has his own shortcomings, that doesn't stop him from being one of the most dangerous opponents Kenshin and the gang have ever faced, because apparently that single man was overpowering the four of them. It was by the end of the duel that Kenshin was able to defeat Shishio. I absolutely love this fight because Kenshin, Saito, Sanosuke and Aoshi are very different characters, and seeing them come together against a common enemy was so thrilling. Next up, we have one of the most legendary rivalries turned reluctant alliances in anime history. Yes, I'm talking about Inuyasha and Sesshomaru teaming up against the deadly Naraku. Now, this is the kind of duo that's never on the same page. However, when it comes to taking down their common enemy, the two have to set aside their sibling rivalry, well, at least temporarily. I mean, they may have spent half the time spamming the same attack to see if it worked, but I've got to admit, they really do make a pretty solid team. Together, they unleash their signature moves, blending Inuyasha's wild energy with Sessho Maru's refined precision. Who would have thought that this duo could actually defeat such a powerful enemy? I absolutely love how when it comes to taking down Naraku, it's always those two bickering brothers fighting side by side with the shared goal of defeating their greatest enemy. Nobody messes with the sons of the Dog General. Going up the list, Ryuko and Satsuki, the two sisters with a little bit of tension between them, finally come together to fight Ragyo in Kill la Kill. But the thing is, they have to cut their rivalry off when they have to face their own mother who loves chaos and manipulation. You see, Ragyo isn't an ordinary opponent. She's the embodiment of all things evil. This lady is hell-bent on using the life fibers to control humanity, turning them into mindless drones wrapped in her twisted fashion sense. With their combined strength and fierce determination, they unleash a wave of pure badassery that Ragyo never saw coming. Watching them stand shoulder to shoulder, ready to take down the woman who's caused them so much pain, is a sight to behold. Together, they form an unstoppable force, proving that teamwork truly makes the dream work. This is genuinely one of the most satisfying villain deaths in the history of anime. How could we even think of making this list without the mention of Gintama and one of the most legendary battles the series has to offer, where Gintoki and Takasugi fight Oboro. I mean, when Gintoki and Takasugi team up against Oboro, it's the kind of fight that makes you sit up straight and rub your eyes twice. Everybody's gangster until these two set their differences aside and gang up. I mean, it's the kind of dramatic entrance that makes you want to rewind the scene just to relive the hype. It was such a heartwarming moment for all the fans because we'd all been dying to see how these former rivals put aside their differences and fight side by side. Now, if we're talking about one of the most intense battle scenes from Black Clover, Asta and Yuno's fight against Licht is the perfect example of that. This fight is everything you could want. High stakes, insane magic, and two rivals teaming up to take on one of the strongest enemies they've ever faced. During the fight, Asta gets absolutely wrecked, losing his black form in the process, which means Yuno has to step up and hold the line against Licht until Asta can bounce back. The choreography of this battle is a feast for the eyes, with fast-paced action that would keep your eyes glued to the screen, I swear. And just when you think it can't get any more intense, the stakes keep rising, forcing both Asta and Yuno to push their limits like never before. This clash is easily one of the best fights in Black Clover. You could feel your heart racing along with the action. Do you remember how Sasuke and Naruto teaming up against Momoshiki was the greatest fight of 2018? Now, this particular fight completely outshines a good portion of battles in both Naruto and Boruto combined. Momoshiki, the Otsutsuki member, practically mops the floor with both Naruto and Sasuke during their epic showdown. But don't worry, my friends, our heroes have a secret weapon, the power of friendship and teamwork. And we all know it's game over when Naruto stops smiling and Sasuke starts grinning. And let's also talk about the animation. It's literally a visual feast for your eyes. With their powers on full display, Naruto and Sasuke look absolutely stunning. Their dazzling and explosive attacks against Momoshiki are just too much for our eyes to handle. It's not every day when you see such a stunning display of power. Next up, we have Deku and Bakugo versus 9 in My Hero Academia. After watching this fight, it's hard to imagine any future battle making quite the same impact, especially with its consistently high quality animation. It's a beautifully chaotic showdown, but in the best possible way. Both Midoriya and Bakugo unite their strengths to take down Nine, an incredibly dangerous villain who's not to be messed with. They manage to pull off this epic feat, but not without a major twist. Midoriya actually transfers his quirk to Bakugo. It's a moment that highlights their growth and deepening bond, showing the power of teamwork and friendship despite being rivals before. I personally couldn't take my eyes off the screen during the entire fight. This movie had a big budget, I'm telling you, so do yourself a favor and go and check it out. When it comes to breathtaking battles, we can't leave Goku and Vegeta versus Broly from Dragon Ball. This fight is legendary on a whole other level. Goku and Vegeta are back again, teaming up to take down a formidable foe, and let me tell you, they absolutely delivered. It's not an exaggeration to say that this fight stands as one of the franchise's all-time highlights. This exhilarating showdown showcases just how powerful Gogeta truly is. The visuals reach new heights, making this battle impossible to ignore, even if you've witnessed countless fights before. Whether it's the characters, the actual fight, the location, or the presentation style, this fight doesn't compromise quality, and honestly, when the fight involves both Vegeta and Goku, it just automatically becomes the stuff of legends. You can feel the passion and dedication that went into animating this spectacular showdown, leaving us all breathless and wanting more. Last but not least, we have Law, Luffy, and Kid going up against Kaido in One Piece. I mean, this guy knows nothing but to create chaos and destroy everything and everyone who comes in their way. But there's no stopping the Powerpuff Girls, as they don't waste a single second before jumping on Kaido. Yeah, sure, it did look like the three of them overwhelmed Kaido a little bit, but honestly speaking, those attacks just tickled Kaido, nothing more. I gotta say, with them, Law's IQ dropped 80 points. What's funnier is that you think Law would use his room ability at the last second to dodge, right? But no, instead he just sits there and takes a Yonko attack like a champ. Why? Because he doesn't want Luffy or Kid to call him a loser. It's hilarious how he's willing to tank a massive hit just to save face amongst his friends. All jokes aside though, their team up wasn't half bad, was it? Who knew chaos could be this much fun? They teamed up, but now it's time to chill with the coldest anime moments. Watch that video here next.